Hello, Dabblers!
Hello, it's Floz.
And JP, and we went to Darwin just last week and we decided, well, you decided you wanted to put a video together.
Yep.
She was the one diligently getting the videos while I was just goofing around.
Sitting on your ass.
Yeah, that's more like it.
It's been 3 years since I flied.
Yeah, and 3.5, 4 since I last went to a conference.
So here we are, flying to Darwin.
Pretty exciting. Everyone's wearing masks, as is the case now after all those lockdowns and stuff.
But a few days, well actually 1 week before the flight I was still very nervous because I didn't know how everything was gonna go with the pandemic going on, so I couldn't sleep very well and I was constantly thinking.
Just worrying a lot.
Yeah, even on the flight I was very tense.
But we still enjoyed the flight. I enjoyed it.
And JP especially requested the window seat, and I ended up sitting next to the window and appreciating the beautiful view.
Yeah, you got this good footage. It's not bad.
Hi guys, it's Floz. JP just went to the gym. As you can see, obviously we're in the hotel already. We got to Darwin quite safely. There was a bit of wind, so when we were landing it was a bit bumpy. Now I was supposed to show a bit of clip of me doing some stitching on the plane, but JP was reading, so we were both really getting into what we were doing, and when I realized I just didn't want to stitch anymore. So I'm just gonna show you how I packed and what I packed for the stitching. So I'll just turn the camera. So I showed, or I said in my May monthly stitching update that I was gonna take this snapping kitten to Darwin. So I did. I literally normally just put it in this Ziploc bag. If I can somehow open it one. Yep. So the pattern itself, the project itself is in this Nerge hoop. Normally it's got one needle minder, but I thought I might need to use a separate needle for back stitching, so I put another needle minder there with some needles. And these are just the threads. And I am actually a thread licker when I thread the threads. So with the mask on throughout the flight, obviously I can't lick my threads. So I was using this threader. It was working quite well, and to cut the thread I had this pendant thread cutter from a subscription box. It's one of those, so I only had that subscription box for 1 month, and this is probably one of the only things I really liked in that box, and it's quite useful. Actually works quite well. So that's how I packed my stitching, and my pattern is actually on iPad. So yeah, that's how I managed to stitch a bit on the plane. I did some of this half stitches and some of this green and pink around here. So if you pay close attention, in the previous video you should have noticed that there's a bit more stitching happening here, 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 and here. And we're going to go to the market in Darwin soon. Apparently it only happens every Thursdays and Sundays, and today is Sunday, so we're going to have a look and to get our dinner sorted.
We've just got our food from the paella stand, and we've sat down to look at what is ultimately a disappointing sunset, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I was expecting better, but hey.
There it is.
And
Hey.
the fly.
Oh.
Hey!
That's it. That's the sunset.
And there's this dude that just kept getting up, and there's this lady. Oh.
Can't you see we're filming here?
Here we are at the Crocosaurus Cove, where I booked a VIP tour for JP and myself. The VIP tour contains, I guess, close encounters with some of the animals.
Mostly crocs.
Yeah, crocodiles and some reptiles that are in this place. Yeah, we really had a great time, especially looking at all the crocodiles, because it's quite unique to Darwin. They're pretty much everywhere. And we also got to feed some baby crocodiles. It was so much fun. The tour guide told us how to, I guess, attract them to the meat, and it was pork heart.
Yeah, it was pork heart, and it was just on a little bit of wire.
And we also got to hold a crocodile, baby crocodile, but I just took a picture. There was no video or anything.
That's because you were holding it.
There's really nothing to Darwin. It's just kind of very country. Tropical country.
So our next stop was the Darwin Aviation Museum, and Darwin's quite famous for planes because it was the only part of Australia that's ever been directly engaged in a battle, and that was the Japanese attacks during World War II. And so there was a lot of fighting between planes, and Australia was very ill prepared for that, which is why they have this whole museum there dedicated to what they now do to make sure that we're not so defenseless. But it's just an interesting collection of these different kinds of fighters, bombers, transports and things like that. And the prized possession you can see is this B-52 bomber. It's the giant thing. I think it's the only one in the southern hemisphere.
Yes, I think it's 1 out of 3 that's in the world.
Yeah, they got rid of most of them because they are capable of carrying nuclear warheads, and I think it's part of a disarmament thing. I read a lot of stuff there, so I don't want to get too nerdy into it, but it was very exciting to see these giant things because it really is massively huge.
After the Aviation Museum, we have a sunset dinner cruise booked. So we decided to go to the wharf a bit earlier and hang out and wait for our cruise.
What we didn't know, though, is that there's actually quite a lot of interesting things at this wharf. We just turned up and we see a Ferris wheel, mini golf, a bar, a really nice bar. And so, we decided to get stuck in and start just playing some games while we wait until the boat's ready to go.
Yeah, so we got into mini golf and that took about half an hour, which was pretty much how much time we needed to kill. But we also saw the Ferris wheel, so we thought, we'll come back after the cruise.
Yep, got a ticket for that. So this is the Cape Adue Sunset Dinner Cruise that Florina booked. She looked it up. And when we got on, actually, we had downstairs seating, and then we were asked if we could do the upstairs seating, so it's kind of an upgrade, right? Better view.
But I wasn't sure whether I was going to cope because I have seasickness. So we were quite reluctant, but then when we saw it was for an old couple that was not very mobile, we decided to say yes because no one else would want to change.
But anyway, so we went up and we really enjoyed it up there. There was the way it worked is they had all the food kind of coming out buffet style, so you go up and get stuff. Makes it easier for the waiter up there, who's a really nice guy who was, got some drinks, just looked at the water going by. Yeah, it was actually just really nice and peaceful, and as you can see, the weather is just phenomenal for this kind of thing, and the sunset just much better than the Mendel Beach sunset, that's for sure. We didn't have any clouds, Nothing. We got to see it all in its glory.
Surprisingly, I was okay with the whole experience because there was a bit of a breeze, but nothing dramatic. The whole journey was pretty stable.
Yeah, no, it was very smooth and didn't really have any problems, and our food stayed down. So we finally got on the Ferris wheel. This is my first time on a Ferris wheel.
And my last time was probably 15 years ago.
Yeah, so it was pretty fun. I mean, let's just say there's not much skyline of Darwin to look at, but it was just fun overall. So this here is our attempt to get up early and get going.
As you can see, we went to another cafe to have our beautiful breakfast.
Yeah, this cafe has kind of a Japanese-themed breakfast menu, which was quite fun. So I had a konmiyaki with an egg on top.
I don't remember what I had.
You don't know, she doesn't remember, but it was fine. And then we got in the car and drove for quite a long time.
Yeah, more than an hour and something.
I was very lucky that my friend who lives in Darwin lent me his car, because he just made this whole thing a lot easier to get to places like where we're going, which is the Litchfield National Park. It's not exactly very close.
Our first stop was at Wengi Falls. I wasn't expecting much, but this one was actually really nice.
Yeah, I disappointed her previously.
So after we stopped at the Wengi Falls, there was this walk we could go on just to, I guess, explore the rainforest.
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, it was this nice raised metal walk that went all the way around.
And it was very peaceful and very quiet.
I know, I'm looking at the path.
Wangi Falls is one of the famous ones that you can swim at. In fact, when we got there, a lot of people jumped out with pool noodles. But it turns out it was closed. And that was most likely because they had a crocodilian resident in that water.
Then we went to the Jataba Falls. It's really high up and I'm actually quite scared of height, so I was very timidly going forward to film some clips.
Yep, just to look down, this she was very brave.
We also went to Catherine Falls, but there were people swimming there and it was very crowded and made me quite uncomfortable, so I didn't end up filming anything there, even though it was very beautiful. There you go, just a picture.
This is us trying the best laksa in Darwin.
Possible. After Laksa, we decided to take a walk at the waterfront where a lot of restaurants, including the Laksa place we went to, were situated.
Apparently this is quite a recent development, and before this there was not an easy way to get down here or much to enjoy at all.
It was really beautiful and there was quite a lot of area to walk in.
There's all this park that's nicely manicured. You've got these trees that are wrapped with lights. There's a lot of stuff to choose from, all kinds of cuisines. It was really just, I'd come again next time. So, in another breakfast, we've gone to the Mad Snake Cafe, which is like stepping into a 90s kid's bedroom.
It's possibly the coolest cafe I've ever been to.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things to look at. You've got the posters, you've got the arcade games that you can play while you wait.
And here I've shown you some pictures of our breakfast. I actually didn't take a picture of our fruit platter, which was really cheap and very awesome.
Yeah, lots of stuff. And we were just craving some fruit after, going to all the restaurants. You kind of just want some simple fruit. So just before we're about to head out to the airport, we got to see my friend's beautiful little cat, Birdie.
She was so cute. She's probably one of the cutest cats I've seen.
Very affectionate. I'm used to people showing me the cats that don't want to hang out with you.
As you can see, I couldn't resist doing some stitching on the way back to Melbourne. When we were going to Darwin, it was really bright, so I didn't use my little portable light that I brought, but here I could finally use it, and I did a little bit of stitching, and that pretty much concludes our Darwin trip. It was really nice to be able to go on a holiday finally after quite a few years.
Yeah, it was just first time being able to relax quite a bit, being far away.
Time went quite slowly when we were in Darwin. Now that we're back to Melbourne, everything just sped up again.
Yeah, days go so fast, and it's so cold. As you can see here, this was our return. You can see the bits of rain going across the glass. It's not a pleasant feeling, that shock.
But here we are, home.
Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. We don't plan on going on too many holidays too often.
No money and no time.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta work before you can do the holidays. But if we have another one, we'll try and make a video if you guys like this, and let us know if there's anything else you'd like to see from our holidays.
Here we are. Bye.
Bye.